Good morning, family. Welcome to today's Lessons for Life. Today's Friday, August 7, 2009, and today we're reading in 1 Kings chapter 21. And as always, before I begin, I encourage you to read it for yourself. See what you get from it. Email us and we'll put it on the blog. But there's a couple of lessons you can get from this, and what I'm going to bring up first is, and I'm not sure if this actually completely ties into it, but I thought about this immediately as I was reading it. They were saying that Bishop had taught us, and I guess it's a general saying that people have said before, that pigs get fat, but hogs get slaughtered. Pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered. Meaning, it's okay to have a lot, but when it turns into greed and that you want everything, that's where you're going to run into a problem when you become a hog and you want everything. And as we see here with King Ahab, that's really what he turned into. He wanted to have, he had vineyards for himself, but now he wanted Naboth's vineyard in addition to what he had, or even to switch it or give him money or buy it, whatever. But he wasn't satisfied with everything he had, and he had to have Naboth's vineyard too, so he became a hog, and that's where you see it led into problems. And secondly, as I see a lesson, even in regards to relationships and marriage, and he was destroyed over this thing, and he stopped eating, and his wife came, and he told her what happened, and she ended up making it worse. And I know it says in the Bible that two are better than one, but if two of them are not thinking rationally, or if one is thinking crazy and then the other one is even thinking crazier, that makes matters even worse. I know in Mommy and our marriage, sometimes I might think something or bring something to her which is not totally together, and I want to bounce an idea off of her, and then she might tell me, oh, that's not good or whatever. But it's good to have someone that may go against you, or that will help to point you in the right direction, I should say. That will, not just see you doing something wrong and then enhance it and make it even 10 times worse, like we see Jezebel did with Ahab's desire to have the vineyard, because then she goes ahead and, as you read the story, she goes and kills Naboth. So, and it's not just for marriages, of course, but in relationships, it's good to have people around that might challenge your way of thought, or might challenge your traditional way of thinking, because then that makes you do one of two things. You'll either first you'll reconsider or think about, what is your point, and is it really valid considering this new idea that someone else has brought to you. And you might either change your thinking, realizing that another way might be better, or get better results, or it would help you to get stronger in what you think, because now you do whatever research, or you think about it, consider it even longer, and get even more convicted about what your way of doing something. So I actually enjoy having people around that would not necessarily just go with whatever you say, or that might challenge your way of thought or your way of thinking, just because it helps you either way. It helps you to go and to get better results from whatever it is you might be wanting to do. And I remember even with President Obama, I think when he first came into office, he chose people around him, not just from his party, but from I think Republican Party as well too, and other people. He said, because he didn't want to have just people who were agreeing with everything he said. He wanted people who would challenge him. He actually brought some people on board that were some of his stiffest competitors or challengers before, because he wanted people who would challenge his thought or what he might be wanting to bring to the table, which is a good thing. So, what the lesson that we can see from here too is, even in regards to relationships, where Ahab, had this crazy thought and he was feeling down from this thing, and in a good relationship, I believe then Jezebel would have said, don't be bothered about this. This is crazy. You have all these other vineyards. Don't worry about that. You can, whatever. But she actually ends up making matters worse. So what we can learn from it, how we can benefit from this story in this regard, in this particular lesson, is by having people around us. And no, don't refuse, or don't be upset by other people having a difference of opinion, because like I said, that helps you out either way. It either makes you stronger in what you believe, or it helps you to change and maybe get better results by hearing a different way of thinking. Because honestly, I don't know everything, and I'm sure you don't know everything as well either. So there's always other thoughts or ways of doing things that might be better or get better results for us throughout our everyday lives. So those are things I got as I was reading from this chapter. Like I said, when you read it, you'll probably get some other stuff as well too, so email us. But with that, create yourself a wonderfully blessed day today, and we'll talk again tomorrow.